Hello. Before we start today's episode, if you would like a condensed version of what I'm talking about in this podcast, go ahead and subscribe to the Perfectionist Guide. You can read the entire thing in 3 minutes or less. To access this, go to CourtneyLoveGavin.com/newsletter. Are you a bit of a perfectionist, type A, hyper performer? Then you know that having the audacity to see an ideal and bring it into reality while breaking generational habits of hustle can be tough, but it doesn't have to be. If you are ready to burn bright instead of burning out, to lead without losing yourself, and to enjoy the life you have worked so hard to create, then keep listening. I'm your host, America's leader on rewiring perfectionism, CLG, and this is Perfectionism Rewired, the podcast. Welcome to Perfectionism Rewired. This is episode number 89. Today we are talking about living by direction versus destination, and how you know that this is showing up for you with examples from my private one-on-one coaching clients. I bet that you at some point decided what you wanted your life to look like and you came up with a plan. Maybe let's just say it was a 10-year plan. So by 30, you thought, I'm going to be married and I'm going to have bought a home. By 35, I'm going to be a partner at my law firm. At 40, you have done everything right. But why does it feel so wrong? Well, it turns out that you can't reverse engineer your life, at least not with a modicum of fulfillment or peace or satisfaction or joy, which is why we do anything. Life is directional. It is not destinational. So today I invite you, actually, I don't even fucking invite you. I'm saying, let's get rid of this idea that once you arrive at some goalpost or some destination, you're finally going to feel satisfied and fulfilled and confident and unfuckwithable. Like, life doesn't work like that. What it is about is it's about going towards. It's not about getting there. You have a truth-telling clarity that knows the exact direction that is best for you to go in that will never, ever steer you wrong. The difference is, and what we're going to do in this episode today, is you just need to uncover it, to melt away the confusion and the noisy doubt and the conditioning of other people in order to hear it. What does it mean to live by destination? So when we're taking a destination approach to our lives by this age or by this time, it doesn't take into account you and your uniqueness. And it also doesn't take into account changing weather conditions. This pandemic and just the world that we've lived in for the past couple of years taught us that, right? Like all those projected strategies and all these things we're going to do, life doesn't work that way. Imagine that you are traveling in your car somewhere and you're like, this is the route that I'm going to take. I live in LA. Let's say I decided I was going to go take Chandler on this hike and we were going to take the PCH. Well, there are horses that are on the PCH and it's just stuck either way, right? Well, I could spend all day on the PCH and get so mad, even though they're waving it off. I could be like, you know what? Nope, I'm going to be on the side of the road right here. And I'm just going to wait because this is the route that I decided to take. All of you would be like, what are you doing? There's another way to get to Malibu. Or don't go hike there today. Maybe that's not the place to hike. But why is it that makes so much sense when we're talking about getting somewhere in your car, but when it comes to something 1,000 billion times more important, which is your motherfucking life, you are waiting. And when I say you, I did all of this. That's why I can speak so freely without an ounce of blame, shame, or judgment. Because, honey, I've been there. I know exactly what that's like. So that's why I'm like, let's get you the fuck out of there. Destinational living can show up in ways that you know that it's happening for you is if you are rushing, if you are hurrying all the time, and you are so focused on the result or the goal that you've forgotten why you're doing it in the first place. And I know a lot of times people think about goals, maybe they think about work, but I'm talking about everything. I'm talking about if you're cooking a meal, if you're working out. One of my clients came to me and she was in a workplace that she hated. She hated it. And she's like, well, I'm not leaving until they make me a vice president. And I asked her, like, why do you want to be a vice president? And she's like, well, I want to be able to manage a team. I want the seniority that comes with it. I want the pay. And I asked her, do you desire all those things now? And she's like, yeah, that's why I'm so mad. And I was like, okay, well, then why are you waiting? Stuck is a choice. There's no such thing as stuck. Maybe you don't know how to get out of where you are, but that's why people like me exist. You could hire me and we can get you out of the ditch and back onto the road. You do not need to suffer. And by the way, just from a scientific perspective, when you suffer, you are literally killing yourselves. Like if you want to die earlier, just stay and suffer in your life. Be stressed, be a people pleaser, do all of those things. And I mean, that was really like the hallelujah thing in my life where when one of my doctors was like, you are literally killing yourself by doing this. And I, of course, rolled my eyes and was like, yeah, right. So then I went and saw a bunch of other doctors and specialists. And then I realized like, oh yeah, I actually am. And I feel like dog shit most of the time. But on the outside, my life looked really, really sexy and really glamorous. And then what happened is that I made myself wrong. We make ourselves wrong. We're like, I'm at Disneyland and I'm having an awful time. But it's like, why did you want to be there in the first place? I wanted to be this super powerful public relations pro because I wanted to have freedom. I thought that making fuck tons of money and being in a very powerful position and living in Los Angeles, having all the designer purses, I thought all of those things would give me these qualities that I was seeking. But then when I wasn't happy or feeling the way that I thought I would feel, I got mad. I thought that I was sold a lie. You don't need to make yourself wrong for not being happy or feeling the way that you would feel because the experience that you expected did not deliver on that. All that it means is that it's a wake-up call that like, oh my gosh, I'm living destinationally. Let's move into living directionally. Why I decided I was like, oh, I really need to talk about this now is because I had a 3-month check-in with my client. She started coaching with me at the beginning of January. And what was so different about this coaching experience, because she herself is a life coach, is that instead of making it about like, okay, this is where I want to get in 6 months, we chose directionally where she wanted to go during our reflection 3-month celebration session. She said, I'm blowing my mind of what I'm capable of. There's no way I'm not going to. And she was talking about goals that she had for her business and for her life, like overall. She said, I'm connecting with myself in a way that I never have before. She said, I know I'm so much more capable than I ever thought. And bless the past versions of me. I love that. And that day that she had actually felt a lot of anxiety about a decision that she had made ahead of time, something she wanted to do to celebrate herself. And she said that she looked in the mirror and she told herself with the anxiety, she said, I'm not going to let you make that decision for me anymore. And this is what a quantum leap of self-trust looks like. It's this bravery that you are no longer holding yourself back. And when you accelerate into new things, it doesn't feel as scary anymore. I really wanted to share this client of mine with you who started with, I'm living my dream life. She was crying. And I asked her with my tears of joy, like, what's happening? And she just said that I never believed that this would be possible for me, especially since all of the outside destinations and things in her life. She purposefully said, I don't need these things anymore. Right now, she is choosing to live as a digital nomad. And she is doing something that she's always wanted to do. She knows that she is propelling herself into a new experience of herself. That's what happens. That's what a difference, this makes. So what is a directional based life and like directional based coaching? It is intention based and it works with your energy. And the reason why I love directional coaching is how fast both coaches, like the client I just told you about, and non-coaches make miraculous shifts in perspective with very little thought work. because there is a deep amount of ethics that inform this lineage of coaching. So a great example of this, let's say you have a dream that you want to be a New York Times bestselling author. Now, a destinational or a facilitative coach, you would tell them that, and then they would give you like a protocol to follow, maybe a process, and here's a set of thoughts or beliefs to help you cultivate how you can be a New York Times bestselling author. And what I do, and what you can ask yourself is, tell me more about that desire. Let's get underneath that. And here's why. Because you could be wanting to be a New York Times bestselling author because you've been brainwashed your entire life that being a bestselling author is easy money. Actually, this happened with one of my private one-on-one coaching clients. He wanted to be a published author from one of these really, really big publishing houses because he thought it was easy money and that they would do the marketing for him, and that also that it would make him more legitimate as an expert in his field. But the truth is that very few authors actually make that their advance. From a business model perspective, having a book on the New York Times bestseller list doesn't equal lots of money or fame or any of those things, or make you any more legitimate. We all know a lot of very non-legit and should quit people that are New York Times bestsellers. So the other side of this desire is you could want to publish a book because books changed your life and you want to get your magic into the hands of as many people as possible. And a book democratizes the knowledge that you have and it makes it easily accessible to everyone in the world. Some of my clients are doctors, like you're a doctor. And so if you have this book, then it's like, okay, everyone in the world can have these healing techniques. Now, a New York Times bestseller book would then just be a byproduct of the magic that you put into the world. But without an integrity conversation around what's subconsciously driving you and driving your goals, like if I didn't do this as a coach, I could be unintentionally showing someone how to shit on their self-concept more effectively and faster. People, humans, you are entering into coaching and personal development and healing focused on results that society has conditioned you to program as things that you should want or aspire to. And what I'm saying is, hey, let's take a step back and peel back the layers of conditioning so you can discover who you truly are and what your spirit is yearning for. Your desires are the direction. You can spend a decade learning how to create a result, get it, and realize that it was never what you desired in the first place. And that's what happened to me. And I thought that was the most depressing part of it all. Yes, my human design is a strong propensity towards melancholy, but man, that was devastating. I was looking at my life and I was like, man, I sacrificed, which go check out my Instagram stories highlight. I think the first one is on sacrifice. I give you some eye-opening things there. But I was telling myself at that time I was sacrificing, which means that making choices that I didn't really want to do and then blaming myself for them later. I sacrificed personal relationships. I sacrificed time with people I love. I did all these things to get to this place that was not even a place that I wanted to be at. When you are living your life directionally, it creates space for you to explore what's actually driving you, your subconscious. And this is why my private clients make drastic life-altering quantum leaps. And it's also why you don't work with me, CLG, as your coach unless you are ready for change. One of my coaching superpowers is giving you and your mind the right to exist exactly as it is, including the stories it has created for yourself, and to honor the dignity out of all of your experiences. Because pretties, at our core, we are all creators of our experiences. And when you decide to live directionally, You navigate your way forward by choosing what feels to be an alignment for you and releasing what doesn't. You understand that just because something does or does not resonate with you, it doesn't make it good or bad. Can you feel how much lighter it is to operate from that space? That there is only resonance or non-resonance with you. It's individual, meaning like, I choose more of this. I choose less or none of this. And that can change because you change, life changes. If you're nodding your head yes, listen closely because I might have the solution you've been searching for. My Perfectionism Rewired Accelerator, a 6-week, highly individualized one-on-one coaching experience designed exclusively for perfectionists like you. Your perfectionism is actually your greatest asset, and leveraging it can be hard work or take years of guesswork. That's why in Perfectionism Rewired Accelerator, I give you my key frameworks to taking charge of your Ferrari drive, proven to work even for the most type A, high-strung, stubborn perfectionists. In the first 30 days, you will cut your burnout in half, increase your professional fulfillment by at least 150%, and your self-compassion will go up at least 250%. And that is just your first 30 days. So if you want to save yourself years of trial and error, go to CourtneyLoveGavin.com/accelerator today. Or if you want to take the easy way, just click the link in the show notes to check out the Perfectionism Rewired Accelerator.